Facts First presents 250 Amish men lift barn with their bare hands and carry it across farm to its new spot. The Amish love their way of life. Amish communities are typically small and they stand together. If one member of the community needs something, everybody gets together to help. In today's modern world, people don't really care so much about one another. If a neighbor needs something, most people will just look the other way, assuming they even realize the neighbor needs anything to begin with. It's not a good thing, but that's the world we live in. The Amish, however, are different. They are special. They care for one another in ways that people who live in the modern world don't. One of the major things that make the Amish so different than the rest of the world is their refusal to keep up with the times. When the television was invented, the Amish wanted no part of it. They would rather spend their time reading. The same is true with cars. When the car was invented, the Amish chose to stick with the horse and buggy. When building barns and homes, power tools are not used. They build these structures with their hands, and they're happy to do it. They don't even have grocery stores and clothing stores. They live off the land. They make their own clothes. Finally, you will never see a person in an Amish community sending a tweet on their smartphone or surfing the web on their laptop. These types of technology don't exist in an Amish community. The Amish do things together. They often cook together and share meals, not just in a family, but all the families together. If there is a new family that needs a home, a barn, or a structure built on their land, they don't hire a contractor. They don't even handle the job on their own. When there's something to be built, the entire community steps in and helps out. A barn raising is a common occurrence with the Amish. When a member of the community needs a barn, the whole community works together. The men construct the walls from the ground. They use hammers and nails only. Electric drills and other pieces of heavy machinery are not used. They use their bare hands to build these walls. While all of this is going on, the women are helping out as well. They're preparing meals for the community and the men who are working. They're taking care of the children. Everybody does their part, and when it's time, the men lift the walls so that they can be attached to build the barn. What the Amish do really is amazing because they do it together. Well, there's an Amish community in Knox County, Ohio, and the community is like the other 40 Amish communities located around the United States. This little community lives off the grid. They work together to keep their community flourishing. They're very religious and very hardworking. They cooperate to get things done. Joseph Hostetler is a man living in this Amish community in Ohio with his family, and on his farm there was a pole barn. Well, the problem was it wasn't on the right side of the farm. He needed to move it from one side of his farm to the other, which was pretty far away. Well, since they were Amish, they didn't have heavy machinery to move the barn. Now, for most people in the modern world, that would have been a problem. For the Amish, nope, just another day. When Joseph decided that the barn needed to be moved, he reached out to his community the way that most Amish people do. He let the community know about the barn and why he needed it moved. The men got together and they came up with a plan. They were going to execute it the very next day, and they were confident that it could be done. On the day of the move, the Amish were up at the crack of dawn, the way they are every day. That morning was just like every other one, in fact. Families woke up, took care of their land, their animals, and their homes. The women cared for the children and prepared breakfast for the families. Everybody was getting their work done so that later in the day they could focus on the task of moving Joseph's barn. When all the families were done with their work at home, they gathered together by Joseph's barn to prepare for the move. The women and children were also there to give moral support to their male family members. The men didn't use heavy machinery because they don't have it in the Amish community. The 250 men who were planning to help gathered around the barn, and all at the same time they lifted it. All 250 men carried that barn from one end of the farm to the other. They had to move the barn nearly 200 feet. It was an amazing thing considering the barn weighed thousands of pounds, but they moved it while it was still standing. The women watched in awe. These 250 Amish men lifted the barn with their bare hands. The whole thing was captured on video, and it is incredible. What happened on this farm that day was amazing. It's something that only the Amish could do. When the move was completed, they all enjoyed a meal together. Who needs Miller time when you can have time with the Millers? Subscribe for more.